Know what I don't have a lot of in my wardrobe? Orange. So let's fix that today. Hi, I'm Erica and welcome to my channel Dizzyknitsandcurls, where I create a me-made wardrobe that's a little bit spooky, a lot vintage, and today I am going to be addressing the fact that I want a wardrobe that is the full Skittles. I want to taste the entire rainbow, and I have almost no orange in my life. So I've got two things planned. First of all, I cast on the Date Maker cardigan, which is a really cool, true 1940s vintage pattern. This is the back. Do you see the snug little chevron thing? So this is the back of the sweater. And then this sweater, I'll put a picture of it. It's got like a little belt that goes around your waist. This yarn is called Koi Fish is the colorway. And it's Ella Ray Superwash in the DK size. So I thought that would be cute to go with my first ever smooth sailing blouse. And I will show you guys the fabric. So it is this cute navy with orange floral. And I think it is gonna look pretty cute together. So I thought this was a good time to do this since my hair is a neutral purple color. This violet seems to go with just about anything I want to put with it. So that has been a good time to embrace all the orange and yellow. I actually finished a yellow sweater, which I will show you guys soon. But yeah, taste the rainbow. So let's get started on the smooth sailing blouse. I'm not gonna show you guys too much of the process, but I just wanted to document a little bit because I thought that might be fun. So we're gonna go over to the sewing machine and sew some dart tucks, I guess is the first thing. So boop, 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 boop. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see me. Can we arrange this in such a way? Yeah, there you go. You can see the sewing machine. All right. I'm gonna sew on the fronts my 2 rows of gathering stitches for the top yoke and then my dart tucks. This is for the front. All right. Get my stitch length up. Chalk. Okay, so I've sewn the dart tucks on the back as well. Now I'm doing my gathering stitch for the top yoke of the back. And I thought now would be a good time to do the gathering on the top of the sleeves as well, since I've already got my machine at the nice long stitch length. So that's what I'm gonna do next. All right, that's that. Okay, and now I need to actually read the directions to figure out what to do next. So I will be back. Actually, no. I think I am gonna actually do, so it turns out it's kind of not a real pocket, like it's not a doubled pocket. So I have this pocket for nothing. So what I'm gonna do is you just kind of fold everything under at 1/4 inch and iron it all down and then top stitch it onto the shirt. I'm gonna put in a basting stitch at 1/4 inch so it's easier to fold that under. And that's what I'm doing now. Going really slow, I say as I speed up. See if you guys can see what I got going on. All right, so I've got the clapper out and I am going to iron it at the stitch lines and then use the clapper to press it flat. I mean, this is probably not new information, but maybe some of you have never seen a clapper, so I'm throwing it out there. I had never seen one until I went to fashion school. And then it was one of the things that was in our classrooms, and I never bought one, and I regretted it when I left school and didn't have it to use anymore. So a couple years ago, my mother-in-law gave me a clapper and a ham, and it has been the best gift. That's still a little bit funky, but I'm gonna call that okay. So that's my little pocket. Let's bring you back over the machine and we're gonna oh, that is so cute. If I do this though, I have to change thread. Do I care that much? Yeah, I do. So we're just gonna quickly change our thread to orange thread, which I happen to have. So I have a Brother Pacesetter PS500 sewing machine, and I will show you why I like it so much. It does do a good job. It's a nice sewing machine, and it does all the sewing machine things. But this is why I like it. Because I'm gonna change thread. In my old sewing machine, I would not have changed thread for this. I would have hand sewed it on, or just not cared that there'd be a big navy blue stripe through it. But this bad boy is so easy to thread that I'm already done. Not sponsored. Brother has no idea who I am. but I just really love that self-threading option. So cute. And now I can rethread my machine. We are gonna sew on the pocket. I'm nervous. Let's hope we don't screw this up. Okay, pocket. So cute. So now we are just gonna sew, I think the next thing we do is sew the yolks to the front and back. I'm just gonna trim some threads here. Front of the garment. Did I get the wrong way around? No, okay. So this has a self-facing. So it's kind of cool. Basically the facing is one big piece. So this front folds over to make your placket and face your neck, which makes it pretty easy. All right. So when I made the test of this, I did notice it's not like the most fluffiness. Like there's not a huge amount of gathering ease between these two notches for it to fit. And I like that. I'm glad it's not more fluffy than that. I think it would be too much volume for me since I have a small bust area, and a little bit of volume kind of adds oomph, but too much can just look a little bit childish on me, like a little bit like a little kid wearing a fluffy shirt. That's not what I'm looking for. I think that you could double the yoke and do the burrito method with this really easily if you want it to be like fully enclosed. I'm not gonna do that. It's not what the pattern is written for anyway, but I think that it might end up being even too much bulk at the top for me. I like a very thin blouse. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew the yoke to the front. All right, yoke to the front. So I'm gonna carry on for a while and I will check back in with you guys a little bit later. Hi everyone, it's been a few hours and I am back to work more on the blouse. I read ahead on the directions a little bit and it got a little confusing. So I'm hoping that I can get this to make sense. So I'm just gonna follow the directions very closely going forward and trust that they know what they're doing. So the next thing we need to do is sew the shoulder seams together. So that is what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna go get my iPad so I can read the next set of directions. I'm actually gonna iron those seams and then read the next set of directions. Okay, according to the directions, we've hemmed the front edges, turned it under and stitched close to the edge to secure. Sew the front and back seams, matching right sides together, press seams open. Sew the side seams. Okay, that is the next step. Side seams. So I'm just gonna do that. So why was I confused about the next step? I'm not anymore, and I was confused because I didn't mark a dot. So, fold facing on line, matching dots together. Here is the facing, the grown-on facing. Do you see the two red dots on my pattern? I had not marked them on my fabric. So, we are folding I think we're folding the right side. Does not say which side is together when we're folding this. If we're folding it, I think we're probably folding it right sides together, I'm guessing. And then we're sewing between the two dots, right? And then I guess we're gonna flip it back open. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna do a longer stitch because I might have to take this out. And I'm not gonna backstitch, I'm just gonna boop. Okay, I feel like I wanna do that a little bit closer because it says stitch at top edge, not where the dots actually are. So we're closer. We're closer, guys. All right, so between the two dots on the top edge, I'm gonna give in and do a regular stitch length here. So up here, I'm there we go. And I'm supposed to clip the top corner. Oh boy. Return. Okay. I was singing Past the Point of No Return from Phantom of the Opera for a second there. It's fine. Oh, yeah. Okay, that really is fine. Makes this little corner. All right, cool. So that is what that means. Now that makes sense. Then I just need to hem the bottom edge of the blouse. Oh. So you want to hem the whole blouse. Huh. Oh. Okay. And I think that is that. So we're going to do both sides. We're going to hem the blouse And then we're gonna flip in the facing, I guess. Hello, so I have done the hem and now I'm supposed to put the collar on. This is the weirdest order I've ever done a top in, but I do like that the hem's finished. So once we finish with the sleeves and the collar, I don't have to do anything else to this. But I wanted to show you guys something just in case I've forgotten to ever show this to you. Not sponsored. No, nobody knows I exist. But this is the Madame So Hot Hem Ruler. And if you don't have one of these, you might want to look at it. It's not very expensive. It's under $20, but it is a ruler printed on felt, like heavy felt. And so what you can do is you can actually like slip this onto your ironing board, fold up your hem around it and iron directly on top of it, and then pin your hem in place. And that is how I did the hem for all my hems, really. But that's how I did the hem for my shirt. And I think it came out pretty good. So now I need to do the collar. And this collar has a binding to finish it off on the neck, around the neck. I've never done that before. I'm not gonna film that because I think there's gonna be a lot of cursing and complaining. So I will just figure out how to do it. And if I get good at it, maybe I'll do a video for you guys at another time. But yeah, the next time I see you, I'll probably be putting in sleeves or we'll have put in sleeves. Hi, I thought we would do a little sleeve moment of truth. So I've basted the cuff onto the sleeve and I'm gonna see if the sleeve is gonna be too tight. And it doesn't feel like it's gonna be bad. Is it gonna be too long? Then we'll fold it up. All right, I think that'll be good. I think we can continue on. I will show you guys really quick the shirt. So it is pretty much mostly done at this point. I have gotten the collar on. Yeah, the collar's on. I did the bias binding. So now it literally just needs sleeves and buttonholes, and this whole bad boy is done. I'm pretty excited, guys. I'll see you at the end. And here is our finished smooth sailing blouse. I gotta tell you guys, I am delighted with how this came out. I've got my cute little pocket, I've got my little orange buttons, my collar is sitting really nicely, my sleeves are comfortable. I love this pattern. And as a bonus, I had 2 yards of this fabric. It only took 1.5 yards to make the blouse. So I had a 1/2 yard left to make this little kind of, basically it's just a big square of fabric and I hemmed the edges so I could make a bandana that matches. I'm wearing it with the Walk Boldly knit pants from Pattern Emporium, which I think fake out wide leg sort of vintage pants pretty well, even though they are knit, so they're comfortable. There is one thing I feel like I might go in and, or at least on the next one, I might put a little stay in the shoulder seams because I feel like since it's rayon, it's kind of sagging a little bit on the shoulder. I also wonder if it's needs a round back adjustment next time because I feel like it is trying to kind of scooch back on me, but I can make that very easily as a adjustment, and I would definitely wear this blouse as is. It is so cute. So the smooth sailing blouse, I definitely have more planned. I'm so glad I made this pattern, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.